Hello everybody, this is Molchop for GG versus Stork, Game 3. I'm here with Cholera and Rise, finishing off this series. This is a best of 3. Each player has won one game, so everything is on the line here, guys. Whoever wins this game is moving on to the next series, the next round of the series. Everything is on the line, like when you do your laundry and your dryer is broken, and so you put everything on the line. Rise, what are we expecting out of this game?
Well, surely we'll be watching a game that's a little bit more exciting than watching clothes dry on the line. I think that we're going to see some really good play from both players. Stork just having lost the last set and fOrGG having won. Both have their own demons to deal with at this point. This is going to be for it all. This is the third game of the set, so whoever wins this will move on. And they are playing on Medusa, 3-person map, and I think that this is going to be playing into one of the two races. What do you think, Cholera?
I think this is a Protoss favorite map against Terran. I think it's also a Zerg favorite map against Terran because you have a large open area in the middle where the Terran can't build anything. For example, in the last game, fOrGG did that slow push with turrets, and you know, I'm sorry, actually that was Fire by Heroes game, but he certainly could have done a slow push with turrets. But anyway, that large space in the middle certainly helps the Terran player a lot. Helps the Protoss player a lot because he can get a good surround around the Terran. Also, there is a possibility of cheese, although we probably won't see it given that this is a deciding game and it's so much is on the line. If it was a Pro League game, I could certainly see one of the two players trying to sneak an SAV or a Pro behind the main base. Of course, you can do that by taking two workers and tricking them using that mineral patch. Also, the temples could possibly go down. That is something that the Terran has in their favor. If they really want to siege down the Protoss's 10 temples stacked upon each other, they could do that, and then they could have access to the back of the Protoss base. But overall, I do think, though, that this is going to be favoring Stork here. I'm actually curious of what you guys think.
Uh-oh, what is Stork doing? He doesn't have a gateway yet.
No.
Oh, no. Is he going to 14 next? He's going to 14 next behind his base. Wow. I'm not so sure this is a good idea here. We saw him do it last game, and didn't really work out for him that well. fOrGG saw it and counterattacked and took out a lot of probes. Ended up not losing that Nexus. And actually, I don't think that's what lost the game for Stork. I think losing the game for Stork was when he thought he had won it and he threw away his army. I don't know. So this is going to be tricky, though. Stork is going to have to deal with a quick push here by fOrGG, probably. Now, just the other day, we saw Cow in, I believe, a game versus Iris. I think that was the first game, actually. Maybe it was the other game, so maybe I shouldn't spoil it. But basically, something similar happened. I guess I'll just say that, and it worked out one way or the other. Now, critically, though, fOrGG is putting a factory down straight away. He's not going to try and go for a racks in a command center, but he only has one SCV on gas, and that is perfect for Stork. That means that fOrGG is going to be preparing for getting a command center, and he's walled off his choke in preparation for holding things off while I guess that command center as well. So this could play right into Stork's hands. He's only going to have one gas, but he's going to have a lot of minerals coming in, and fOrGG is not set up to move out immediately. Wow, this could go very, very well for Stork. He might have an economic advantage going into the mid-game here.
Yeah, well, you got to also keep in mind that this is more like a Katrina situation when he goes for this type of 14 next versus on the last game that he did where his Nexus was completely exposed. Right now, he's actually got it pretty well protected. And like you said, it looks like a fast expansion may go down for fOrGG after all, as he only had one guy on gas. So I think that's what that SCV is waiting for, 400 minerals. Yeah, and he is getting a command center. So this is going to work greatly in Stork's favor at this point. And I think that, and he's got a full scout in the base somehow. How did he even get the probe in there? He must have squeezed it in the back. I didn't even see how he got it in there. And so he knows exactly what fOrGG is doing. fOrGG, though, apparently obviously knows what Stork's doing with his scout getting in. Protoss having a tough time walling off after all. And I think that that this game is they're both going into the longer term builds, and I think we're going to see a much longer a game right off the bat here.
Yeah, I think so too. And the one advantage fOrGG is going to have is that, of course, he's going to have the gas. He's going to pick up his natural expansion with gas, whereas Stork is not going to have gas. He's still going to be able to support at least 4 gateways, though. If he wants to produce just Zealots and Goons, he could actually get a really strong timing attack out, much stronger than if he was on, you know, a 1-base build with a 2-gate rush or something like that. I think he could do that. On the other hand, of course, he could play a standard game with just more minerals, and that would mean probably getting his robotics facility at this point, and then setting up for another expansion, the one with gas. But either way, he's going to be in a bit of a lead here with the extra minerals coming in, with the extra 6 patches, you know, that he can mine. Looks like he's finally got that goon to kill off the scouting SCV. Here comes fOrGG with his command center being floated down. So we'll see if fOrGG decides to do anything creative. One thing that I think Terran can do to try to even up this matchup on this map is to go for dropships and to try to drop behind the Protoss's main, you know, with that large area in the back and just a lot of room to maneuver in general by air. You know, conversely, of course, Stork is probably going to get shuttles at some point, probably going to go for a harass of some sort, most likely a Reaver harass at this point, I think.
Wow, Siege Tech up for fOrGG already, so he has set himself up nicely to take that second base. Already taking his third, Stork taking a third as well. So you guys are right, we are looking at a longer macro game here. Now Stork is, he could squeeze another, I think he did squeeze a probe through the temples using the mineral trick with a pylon or something like that. He could do that again to spot what fOrGG is doing, but we've seen him in the past go for more of a safer build. He seems generally this series to go, never mind, I was going to say straight for observers, but there's the robotics support bay immediately going down. So Stork is going to go for some quick tech, it looks like. He may, I think what he's thinking here is because fOrGG has gotten an expansion so quick and gone for Siege Tech first, there's not much chance of a lot of mines being spread out or anything like that, so he's not going to need those observers immediately. I think that's kind of what he's thinking there, and so he's going for the Reavers first, try and do some harassment. He's in a good spot where he can actually sneak in the back and attack fOrGG's new third base pretty easily without, if fOrGG puts any forces up there to protect against that, they'll be out of place to protect against other places, so fOrGG's a little bit spread out right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's exactly what he's got facing him. Stork going to have a lot of maneuverability with that shuttle, and he's going to be able to attack him basically on 3 fronts because obviously he's going after the economy, and fOrGG is going to have to put up a lot of turrets and tanks next to those turrets, and that's gonna cost him a lot in terms of just upkeep, basically trying to make sure that he's got the proper defenses to deal with that. Reaver coming out now, so it looks like we're going to see him going in for this harassment. And something else is this map position is very favorable for Stork to do this, although it looks like fOrGG's aware of that. And he's trying to set up his turrets to defend the most likely scenario of which way he's going to come into his base. And Stork, it looks like he's going to run into the eBay and first turret over there. He's going to see that and be discovered very quickly before he can get any jump on the economy of fOrGG. But it looks like he's going to send in a couple of Zealots. Very clever to take out those turrets before there are any other. And he actually gets into the main. And does he get any SCVs though? Oh, no, he doesn't hit him. Oh, the Scarab does not go off. But, man, that was great great Reaver placement. Certainly better than some other players who try doing some Reaver micro. But there's a tank out there now, and the tank is gunning for that Reaver. So that Reaver is going to have to be very careful with his placement. And it looks like, oh, he's got a Goliath out to try to help deal with the shuttle, but... oh, and he's almost able to take out that tank, but I don't know if he's going to be able to with the 2 or 3 SCVs mining on it, and the Goliath pounded away at him. Oh, he's so close. He's so close. No, he's not going to get it though. It was a good try, but it looks like it looks like that Reaver is going to be thwarted for now.
Yeah, that was very, very close there. Had he taken down that tank, the Reaver could have landed once or twice again, and then try to drop again and take out some things. It looks like Science Facility already going up for fOrGG. fOrGG going for the sort of the new Terran build, or I guess the standard Terran build nowadays, as introduced by Flash, going for the fast double armory, so he can get that +2 attack, +1 defense. Oh, Stork meanwhile has elevated a couple of Dragoons back into the back of fOrGG's base. base. I did not see that coming, and neither did fOrGG. Here comes the Reaver once again. Is it going to be another dud? Oh man, that supply depot just saved fOrGG a ton of SCVs there. Meanwhile, though, Stork's going to have a brief period of time to do some damage back here, although looks like a Wraith is actually out for fOrGG, so that could be the end of this Reaver harass very quickly with that Wraith. Looks like Stork now is going to have to back off. Oh, man, here comes the Wraith, though. Here comes the Wraith, and there's going to go the shuttle. There's nothing he can do about that. So now the Reaver is stranded, and it's going to get taken out by these tanks. Overall, I would not call this harass really much of a success for Stork. I got to say, this wasn't very cost-effective, so fOrGG seems to have equalized the game right now. We'll see if Stork decides to go for carriers. That is a possibility, given the starting locations. He could send carriers right behind his base. Of course, he could play a more safe build and go for the late game arbiters, but you know, I think carriers could be a possibility, although in the middle of the map they aren't so successful. We'll have to see though. And meanwhile, Stork is setting up an expansion at the lower right. Would you guys say this game is pretty much even at this point, or would you say fOrGG is ahead?
It's hard to say. I mean, it is hard to say. Stork, you're right. He didn't really accomplish anything with his harassment there, but you know, fOrGG also hasn't done anything to Stork. Conversely, I mean, he's killed the harassing forces, but he hasn't really done too much else. As far as what their armies look like right now, though, I think fOrGG has a little bit of an advantage. But Stork could very easily come back. He's getting his 4th base up now, and he's gonna. What is going on here exactly? I'm anxious to see where his probes decided they wanted to go. Yeah, okay.
Congo line,
so,
man.
Yeah, it's a pathing error.
That was kind of weird. Yeah, a little Congo line going to the middle of nowhere for some reason. Okay, anyway, moving on. Yeah, I think it might be good for Stork to go carriers, but I think that might be personally, I think that's kind of a bad idea at this point. I think that he would probably get caught in switching tech. fOrGG has almost enough that he could push out in a minute or so, right when Stork was getting his carriers out. But I don't know, this is a good map for it. So there's a lot of ridges and things like that. So it could work out well. We've seen Stork be in that position before where he's kind of at a disadvantage, but he has carriers out, and he uses the carriers so well that he comes back. And I think that's how he beat fOrGG in Game 1 as well. So who knows? But he's actually going for arbiters and trying to break down the temples behind fOrGG's base as well. He's going to be able to bust through those pretty quickly and move a pretty large army into fOrGG's base if he doesn't see it very quickly right now. Wow, this is going to be interesting very, very soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only thing is it takes a long time to break those temples, but you're right, he is breaking it down pretty quickly, and we do see Arbiter tech, so we're going to see an Arbiter out very shortly, which I do think is the right tech move to make at this point, as you were alluding to, Moltrap, because of the amount of units out there. And he is just tearing down those temples. But a drop coming in for fOrGG. It looks like he's going to put a little bit of a harass on the economy of Stork, and Stork definitely would benefit from some cannons out in the back of his bases. I don't know if he has any in this base either. He's got one, but it's a little far. So that tank in position to hit both bases, and Stork potentially going to lose a lot of probes here. It looks like he's trying to get some units up, but plenty of spider mines there to try to at least slow down the zealots. But they catch the tank, and the tank goes down. So a very good defense maneuver by Stork to get that. And another vulture. The last vulture is just gonna waste away as its hit points are taken out by the Dragoon. But a decent little harass from one dropship from fOrGG, and we've been seeing this more and more lately, and it's very effective. And it looks like fOrGG is about ready to get out of his base, although he's having a little bit of trouble doing so, considering how much traffic there is. But and taking out Observer again of Stork. We saw this in last game, and that proved to be critical because of spider mines, as well as knowing when to go in for an attack because of the units, and he is going in for an attack right now. The vultures are out of position, so he's right on the tanks with the zealots. He's got 2 shuttles. I don't know what he's got in the shuttles. It looks like all zealot bombs, and that's a lot of zealots having a shuttle, and takes out the entire force of tanks that fOrGG has just sent out.
Wow.
And now he's just down to zealots on vultures and dragoons on vultures, and doing a great job of pushing fOrGG right back into his base, almost taking out every single unit that fOrGG had produced. And now we're going to see the Arbiter going in, and it looks like he may be going in for a recall. I don't know. That Temple is still up, so he may decide to just take out the Temple. But either way, we're about to see some interesting play here. fOrGG going to see that next expansion going down, and man, here comes the Arbiter.
Yeah, oh, nice mine there, killing well, a lot of stuff there, both Dragoons and Vultures. Yes, Stork with a great attack there. That was exactly what he needed to do. He needed to attack before the Vultures got there. You saw fOrGG was busy sniping the observers. It looks like Stork's going to go in once again to pick off the tanks. If he can prevent fOrGG from moving out with any tanks, he's going to have this game because he's expanding around the map right now. He's going to take he's already taken the 5 o'clock location. He's going to pick up the 3 o'clock location right now. Looks like Stork is going to put a nice stasis on 2 tanks there. Looks like 2 tanks left for fOrGG. They're going to go down right now. fOrGG is running out of Vultures. He's got no more Vultures left, and fOrGG could lose his game right now. This is looking really bad for him right now. That was an amazing attack. Just showing Stork's game sense there, shoving all of his troops in. I thought for a second it was going to be a bad attack. I was thinking, wow, Stork, you're going to commit suicide right here, but he knew what was going on better than anyone did. He knew right at that moment the mines weren't down yet. There wasn't any kind of defense position, and he just rammed his troops in at the perfect time. And, you know, the thing is, he didn't even have Templar. I mean, usually with most Protosses, you would need Storm to break that many tanks, but he went with just 2 shuttles full of Zealots and just, you know, very manly style here. This is very manly play, very Reach-style play. Who needs Templar when you got Manlots, you know? And this is certainly he's borrowed a couple of manlots from Reach in this game, and looks like he's going to push in here, possibly just to contain. But looks like he's not going to go for the kill just yet. But I think Stork is firmly in the lead, and we could see him take this game and you know move into the round of 8 very soon.
Okay, now Stork, listen to me, Stork. Listen to me, buddy. Okay, calm down. Take a deep breath. Keep your hands moving. Keep your hands moving, but take a deep breath. Okay, you don't want to get overexcited. Throw away your entire army on fOrGG's front door like you did in Game 2, okay? Just expand like you're doing, clinch the map, take out expansions, perfect. Okay, so Stork is actually playing this the right way this time. He's not just going to try and run in and finish things. He's going to actually play this a little bit tactically, and that's what StarCraft is about. It's a game of taking an advantage and then using that advantage to secure a greater advantage, and that sort of thing. So Stork is playing it correctly. No, don't run your Arbiters in. Well, okay, Stasis is nice. That's nice. That was pretty good. But, yeah, I think Stork won the game. Basically, he caught fOrGG when he was moving out of his base. As Rise alluded to, a bunch of traffic there, slowing things down, making it so that his Vultures were delayed behind, and just, at this point, he's just kind of keeping fOrGG back in his base while he gets 2 or 3 other bases running around the map, and takes out fOrGG's base in the top right. So basically, if Stork can just contain fOrGG for another minute or two, then we're going to go into the mid game with both their main bases mining out, or late game rather, and Stork's going to have like 5 bases, and fOrGG's going to have 1 or 2.
Yeah, and considering the fact that Stork has 5 bases, I think that he has all but wrapped this game up this time. Those Arbiters are doing a great job. I think that, Stasis right on the Science Vessel, and now that's going to just spell the end of the game if you ask me. EMP not able to go off. He caught some tanks in it, and now and he's just able to plow right into the expansion without fOrGG having any answer to it because he can't get his units past those Arbiters, and just doing a great job of keeping them back. And Stasis, man, that's one thing that will slow a player down, and it's not just because your units can't move. You just don't want to move past there because you need all those units to break whatever mass that the Protoss player has right outside you. And another starport going down. It looks like for more Arbiters because I don't see a fleet beacon down, but I think that at this point, I don't even know if he needs another one, but I think he's got to have so much money at this point that he's going to be ridiculously able to outmass fOrGG, and fOrGG with a pretty decent force, but this is going to be it, guys. This is where we're going to see who wins the game.
I think it's going to be Stork this time. Stork is just maxed out right now, I believe, and he has the upgrades plus 2 attack, plus 1 armor, I believe, for his ground forces. fOrGG needs to pull off some wicked sick EMPs here to have a chance, but he only has one Science Vessel. This is really interesting, though. Notice the lack of High Templar in this game. This is a pure Cybernetics Core level army here, all goons and Manlots. Really, this is Reach's old style here, and looks like Stork's going to go in with the Arbiters. Defense Matrix on the tank there. Stork needs one stasis, though, on that huge clump of tanks. That will be critical if you can get that stasis off, but looks like he's actually going to go with some Zealot Bombs. It might not even matter, though, because he has just simply so many forces that, yeah, those Zealot Bombs, wow, proving very critical. Those drop Zealots, not even bombs, really, just dropping themselves on top of the tanks and taking them out. That was a huge number of tanks taken out without a single Storm. You know, normally you would need Storm, but Stork saving the stasis for the end just for one tank and Science Vessel. And GG coming from fOrGG. Stork winning the series against the MSL champion. fOrGG knocked out in the round of 16, and Stork is going to advance to the quarterfinals.
Wow, last season fOrGG overcame all odds, beat a ton of great opponents that everyone thought would slaughter him. Well, not everyone, but beat a ton of really tough opponents, had a really tough battle to get to the finals. But this time, getting knocked out relatively early, not going to perform the same set
First time he's played.
Upsets. First time what?
This is the first time he's played in this MSL. He was seeded to the round of 16, and he got knocked out.
Wow, so definitely a lesser performance by fOrGG. Not going to perform any upsets this time around. And I think Stork pretty much, this is just my opinion, I guess, but I think Stork's pretty much dominated the entire series. Even though fOrGG won Game 2, that was because Stork got a little overzealous, in my opinion, not by terribly good play from fOrGG.
Yeah, I think Stork really has proved that he is a solid contender for the championship of the MSL. I mean, he is just destroying everyone in his path left and right, and they can't put up much of a fight. So, I thought it was a good game, guys. I hope you guys enjoy that, too.
Yep, Stork showing that he could be just as manly. He doesn't need to necessarily just reverb microwaves the way to win. He is just as good with ground forces. GG, Sun Byung-gu goes on.